Hey, what's up, guys? We're back for another discussion video. We're going to talk more about the upcoming modes to Street Fighter 6. So for today, we're going to talk about one in particular I'm really excited about, and that is the Extreme Battle mode, which is kind of like the game's party mode, if you will. Are you excited about this mode, Mir?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like something that's really interesting to play with maybe some of your friends that might not be too much into fighting games, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be kind of like the stepping stone to getting them interested because it's just this kind of like random, wacky mode where everything is unexpected. There's a lot of different modifiers and things going on, and it's just some good fun to play on the couch, on an evening with friends,
Yeah.
and to keep things a little bit interesting, even for someone that might be a fighting game veteran, just to
Mhm.
have some mindless fun every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm so happy and surprised when Capcom announced this and showed it off. As soon as we saw that bull run across the screen, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Right? Because it's something that I personally have requested, and a lot of people have wanted as an extra feature in any fighting game. Right? Is to have these fun modes where you don't have to focus on the leaderboard or the score. And
Yeah.
it's not competitive. I mean, I guess it could be. It depends what kind of friend you play with, right?
It will
But
be.
yeah, it will
It will
be.
be.
But it's something that it's just doesn't get boring quickly because it's like always changing. It's not like arcade mode where you're just trying to get the ending, for whatever character and or
Right.
complete whatever difficulty. I love that idea. Obviously they took a page out of the NRS modifiers with their challenge towers. It's kind of like item mode, in Smash, for example. So it's just a lot of fun. And this is going to be available, guys, for both Fighting Grounds and the Battle Hub, I'm pretty sure. So Fighting Grounds just means that, it's the normal mode that's included in the game. But Battle Hub, you can, meet up with people in lobbies and probably change into Extreme Battle on that as well.
Right. I mean, the thing that I feel like is interesting about this is that there's still going to be a lot of strategies to develop for this. Even if you want to look at it, in a more competitive sense, when you're playing with your friends, there's
Hmm.
going to be a lot of mind games on how you use the different modifiers to your advantage. And it's going to be different based on the people that are playing. So it's not just, just random fun. I think it could actually develop into something, especially with your little community, right? So like, it could be more than that, I'm sure.
Yeah, like if there's one particular mode mirror that's really popular, maybe they'll make it something bigger, in the future.
Hmm.
You never know, right? I mean, they're obviously
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
add
that's
more
possible.
stuff. What's
Yeah,
that?
adding new modifiers, new
Hmm.
rules, even more stages, with different things, like even just for the looks, right? This is the perfect mode for casual players to get into the game, right?
Hmm.
So I'm sure they're keeping an eye out for it because they know how important they're going to be for Street Fighter 6.
Hmm. And not just casual players. It's also good to just blow off some steam,
Yeah,
from ranked.
yeah, I suppose.
So let's go over how it works, Mir. So
Hmm.
the way it works is that you choose one rule and one gimmick. And the gimmick is more of like the modifier, and the rule is just the condition on how you win.
Right.
So let me talk about just the different rules, and then we'll talk about the different gimmicks. And you can basically, combine these two together to make your own, original party mode. So the first one is the one that we know where if the first person to lose all their health loses. It's called normal battle, and it's just
Right.
the normal rule set. The next is called down and out, and this is interesting, Mir. It's based on knockdown. So how many times your character falls on their butt, and the one we saw is like you fall down 5 times and you lose. So this would be
Hmm.
kind of interesting with different characters on how you would play the match. Like you gotta watch your toes obviously so you don't get knocked down or jump a lot, for example, get
Yeah.
anti-aired, right?
Yeah, and it's not about who does the most optimal combo, right? It's about who gets the hit and manages to convert into a knockdown. So
Right,
this could be great for someone that's new to the game, just to get used to not getting hit, hitting the opponent.
right, right. The other one, you maybe you know this one a little bit more than me, Mir. It shows like a score, and it's kind of like a tug of war. It shows the health bars, and there's a meter in the middle, and the both health bars are shrinking from both sides. And as the opponent hits the other opponent, his health bar grows bigger, and so it's kind of a fast time based where you need to land a lot of hits, otherwise you're gonna lose.
Yeah, this one seems like the coolest to me because the idea, like you said, is that it's this tug of war, and as I understand, the bar doesn't shrink when you're not taking damage, but every time you do take damage, it shrinks on top of the fact that there's a timer, of course. And basically, it's about who gets the most hits and manages to get hit less.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it creates an interesting dynamic with the modifiers, because obviously that's the unpredictability that comes into play. And I don't know, it seems like really interesting, because there could be a situation where you're very far behind, but if you manage to land like a big combo at the perfect moment, the bar could shrink enough where you would end up winning instead. So there's always a possibility for comebacks. And I don't know, it seems like really fun.
Yeah, I think this is more of an aggressive one, right? Like the more longer combos you know, or the more aggressive you are, the
Yeah.
better. Like you're not gonna want to play keep away with this unless maybe you have like a giant lead,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's possible too, and it depends on the modifier as well, right? Because we've seen that some modifiers seem to reward going in more than defending,
Hmm.
and vice versa. So, like, depends a lot about that, I'm sure.
And the last rule I think we see, Mir, is it just shows score above the
hmm
health bar. It just shows a score, and then you see a message in the middle of the screen, and it says jump attacks. And I'm guessing this is like a Simon Says kind of game type.
Yes, I think so. The idea obviously is to score the maximum amount of points before your opponent does. I think it was 30,000 in the footage that they're shown,
Hmm.
and hitting the opponent gives you points. Performing special moves and hitting all of that stuff. But if you do the thing that's listed on the screen, then you get extra points.
And
Because in
that
the footage
sounds
we see,
amazing.
yeah, we see even silly stuff like taunts, right? We
Yeah.
see both characters get knocked down, and then in the middle of the screen it says taunt, and they both wake up and taunt. And
Yeah.
I think it's Jamie that is closest to winning. He gets the last amount of points, and
Hmm.
wins the round. So that's pretty fun, because obviously in some situations you could have something like, oh, I'm ahead in points and I don't want my opponent to score
Yeah.
these points. So, like, if say taunt appears on the screen, you're gonna try and keep them from doing that. Or
Yeah.
like drive impact shows on the screen, you know that it's gonna come to, you have to defend against it,
Yeah.
right? So that creates some interesting mind games. It seems like really fun.
That sounds really fun. Like if it says jump and attack and like you know your opponent's gonna jump, do you just stand there and then anti-air them? Are you gonna get more
Yeah,
points than
exactly.
if
It's
they
about
didn't?
building a lead and
Yeah.
maintaining it, right? By preventing your opponent from scoring points with this extra point scoring system, I guess.
Right. So the rules themselves, Mir, already sound fun to begin with, but when you mix them with the
Yeah.
gimmicks, this is where it gets like all crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So the first and the first one we saw, and the obvious one, is the crazy bull run one. And basically what happens is there you get this warning message on the side of the screen, and a bull
Mhm.
will run across and it's unblockable. It'll guard crush you if you try to block it, and it will knock you up in the air, like in a really long juggle state. It's
Yeah.
great.
The other thing that is worth noting is that the camera zoomed out, so you have a little bit more time to react.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
well, like you were saying, since it knocks you in the air for a really long time, especially in those modes that are about scoring points, maybe you can get a very good aerial combo and put your opponent at a big disadvantage if they get hit and
Hmm.
things like that. And using moves that give uh both characters invulnerability, like if you're throwing someone, right, you'd be able to go through the ball. So there's some strategy here as well.
I don't think it's a good thing to have a gimmick that promotes jumping that makes people want to jump. I don't know if that's gonna teach you Street Fighter. The floor is lava. But yeah, that mode it
Well,
looks
balls are
great.
not normally running around your average match, so I don't think we threw that already out of the window in the beginning.
Did you see that footage, Mirror, of the drive impact hitting the bull?
Right? Yeah, we see Ken hit the ball, and the ball turns around.
It
It gets
runs
stunned and
away.
turns around. It's like, huh? Where am I
That's
going? And it goes
great.
the other way.
Yeah, that was on day 3 of the TGS footage. So you can actually hit the bull. That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. It's a cool idea.
That was the mode that was shown the most, Mirror. So there were some small
Mhm.
other ones. There was like the hard helmet one where you there's like a little NPC. It's a Mega Man reference. I think his name is
Yeah.
Met. I think it was, but most
Oh,
people just
I'm
call
not
him
sure.
Hard Helmet. He's like the construction. He's got the construction helmet on the robot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, the
if you
hard.
hit him into the opponent, he'll explode basically. So he's just kind of like this third party that's involved in the
Yeah, it
match.
seems like when you hit it, it homes in on the opponent too. Because
Mhm.
in one of the little snippets of footage that we saw, we see this enemy basically home in on a jumping opponent, hitting in the air, and it shocks them,
Right.
and it creates a situation where they can get hit afterwards, like a juggle.
Yeah, can you imagine Blanca in that mode with this Blanca item and that at the same time. Like, oh
A lot of electricity.
yeah, a lot of electricity, right? So the other mode, basically, it's called Bombs Away, and you have there's can be more than one bomb on the screen, and it's gonna detonate after a certain amount of time. It's basically like hot potato, where you're hitting
Yeah.
the balls back and forth on it. So what do you think with that mode?
Right. I noticed some people compare it with Tekken 3, if I believe, if I remember correctly, mode where it's more like volleyball, that one, but
Oh,
it's
the
still,
Tekken
with
ball.
this ball in the middle that you can hit, and you can juggle between the two characters. So this, in a way, is it's similar, except the ball explodes.
Yeah, I think Harada even did a tweet about it, talking about Tekken ball and how
Yeah.
people want it back, and it's interesting seeing that it actually brought up that discussion, you know, on all these
Mhm.
modes. But people do want them; they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, this one seems fun too because it seems like it interacts differently with the different special moves and normals that you use.
Hmm.
Kind of like if you think about it, the Ibuki bomb from Street Fighter
Yeah,
5, how you can kind of like juggle it around, or the
right.
tire, Abigail's tire, how different attacks move it in different ways.
Yeah, the
So
different speeds.
it could create for some fun situations where you're
Hmm.
just doing different special moves to juggle the ball around and hit
Hmm.
your opponent at the right time as it is about to explode. Because it
Hmm.
doesn't seem like you can block it. Because obviously
No,
it's
I
the
don't think
entire
so.
point. Yeah.
So the last one we saw is these two like Tesla coils coming down out of nowhere, mirror, and zapping you after a certain amount of time. So you're kind of forced to block. It's once again it's kind of like as Simon says, where you're gonna go on the offensive and then you have to stop. If you're in the middle of something.
Right. Assuming you can even block the. But yeah, it basically breaks up the action, right? Like you have to think about not only what you're doing, but what the Tesla coils are about to do.
Right, right. And once again, these are all interesting when you combine them with the different rules on how they'll interact. And these are the only ones that Capcom showed us. I'm sure there's a lot more, and they can also add a lot more to it in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, I can definitely see maybe a free update where they're gonna add more. It seems like the kind of thing that definitely would be added in later in the game for sure. More gimmicks, more rules.
By the way, I think Dalsum's gonna be so broken on this move. Dude,
Yeah,
there's gonna be
because the long
matchups,
one.
okay? There's gonna be matchups, and I think Dalsum's broken. He's just gonna float and teleport all over the screen, man, on half of these ones. If the
Yeah, I
bowl,
guess.
you tell me
With the
Dalsum doesn't have
ball.
an advantage on the bowl one or the hot potato. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible. Maybe the ball will leap into the air and hit him out of the sky. Because they thought about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe it's possible. Another thing too, Mir, it seems like there's exclusive stages in this mode because
Mm,
we see like that. I think it's called Macho Arena, where it's like a wrestling ring. You know,
yeah,
that's in like the Hagar Stadium, I think. And then we see the market stage called Old Town Market. It looks similar.
right.
It looks similar to the Dulcim stage in Street Fighter Five. It looks similar.
Yeah, it's like a mix of the Dulcim stage and that Street Fighter 4 stage in the back alley.
Oh yeah,
Like
I love that stage. That stage is sick.
I do think you're right though that is the Dulcim stage because I believe the script on the the signs and such, it seems to be in Farsi, so it would be in India, right? No, the thing that's interesting about it is that, like you said, that one seems to be exclusive, especially because the camera is zoomed out. I wonder if it's unique to that stage or if it is the bull run. It could be either or.
Yeah, and it just
Um,
I don't know, it just shows the scale of the game here because the
yeah,
fact that there
absolutely.
might be exclusive stages for certain modes just shows them that they have so many stages they don't know what to do with, right? Like Dalsum obviously already has his own stage. We've seen it, in his gameplay trailer. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I hope that they're not completely exclusive. It'd be nice to have them all available for versus mode, especially, if you're watching a tournament, having stage variety really, really helps.
That's true too. Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
true.
then and that one arena, the CPT arena looking thing.
Yeah,
Not
watch
only
one.
is the ring hexagonal, like the Street Fighter logo, Street Fighter 6 logo, but it seems like it's gonna be available in the beta. So we'll see how that plays. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's not a laggy stage.
Dude, the time of Lego stages I think is over, Mir. I really
Well, unless
hope
you're
so.
playing with PS4.
Yeah, because the stages are super detailed, but I mean, I don't want to derail our conversation to just stages. But
Yeah.
this extreme battle map, I'm really excited to play. It's available in the beta, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I
So
wonder
I'm
if it's
definitely
gonna
gonna
be
check it out then.
online only, or if you'll be able to play it offline, locally with your friends.
Hmm.
But that'd be obviously the best moment to try it out. I mean, the best moment to try out this game is the first opportunity that everyone, well, most of everyone, if you're lucky with the with the beta codes, will get to try out the game.
I can't wait for like tournaments to have like raffle tournaments with this, you know, like little exhibition matches with players. Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so funny, dude.
Red
Definitely
Bull
should do that.
Kumite 2023 on Extreme Battle Mode.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about the new extreme battle mode for Street Fighter 6. This fun party mode. Are you guys interested in playing on it? Blowing off some steam from Rank and checking out the gimmicks and stuff. But yeah, guys, we'll talk about more modes in the future. So thanks for joining me, Amir, and see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye bye.